Hi there, I'm Scott Lowe with ActualTech Media. I'm here today with Suzy Visvanathan, who is the Director of Products for Coho Data. Hi, Suzy.
Hi, Scott. Very nice to be chatting with you.
You too. So we want to talk about what Coho Data is doing in Rackscale converged infrastructure. Can you tell us a little bit about Coho Data's efforts in that space?
Yeah, so we have always been built with the scale out in mind. It was always targeted towards massive scale. Our Rackscale story or infrastructure basically comes from the fact that when you have some sort of a convergence story, it is about all the core components within the rack. And for us, it is about not just storage, it's compute, storage, and network. Those who are familiar with Coho Data already knows that we have a good integration with storage and the software-defined networking part. So that gives us, some may scoff at it, however, integrating with networking piece gives us the ability to bring the easy scale into picture. You're talking about not just terabytes, you're talking about petabytes later on, scaling even larger in the data center. So for us, the storage scales, but so does the other components. The compute scales with it, the networking, thereby the bandwidth and throughput scales with it. That's our basic fundamentals of our whole entire architecture and the company. And on top of that, we build all the necessary pillars for it. For example, we would give multi-tenancy. We will be able to give further granular, say, quality of services for those multi-tenancies. Enhance our networking aspects, multi-pathing, zoning off, making sure that even network isolation happens in certain cases, and so on. So it is fundamentally Rackscale built bottoms up.
You know, one of the nice things about this architecture is if you think back even with scale up or scale out in the traditional sense, they both have limitations.
Yeah.
With scale up, there's obvious limitations of single points of failure, potential for unpredictable resource or unpredictable performance growth. And with scale out, it's not always all inclusive. You don't always include the network. In fact, most storage companies don't. With Coho's Rackscale infrastructure solution, that's solved.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the key features that some of the other vendors are not focusing on or have not seen the value add of it. I mean, think about it, right? It's not just about adding capacity and having linear IOPS and lower latency. It's no longer the story around that. The story is, I don't want the network to be a bottleneck.
Right.
I want to be able to saturate the disks. Flash has become synonymous. It's ubiquitous with storage these days. Even for capacity tier, it is okay to have a flash-based storage for it. But how do I get the max out of these fast disks? And disks are getting faster, just like they are getting even more dense. Samsung is coming out with a 16 terabyte drive.
Right.
How do you get the most out of it? So it is almost inevitable that you have to invest in all the components that comprise of the rack.
It's interesting to hear you say you want to saturate the disk, because in the world of spinning disk, we didn't want to do that.
Yes.
Because you would end up with latency issues through the roof. But with Flash, really you have resources abound when it comes to performance.
Yes.
It's really flipped the paradigm when it comes to measuring capacity versus performance.
Absolutely. It's about how an architecture makes the best use of it. Of course, I'm making it sound simple, but there's a whole lot of issues that needs to be considered, maybe also targeted towards what kind of use cases that you want to go after and get the max out of it, basically.
So who's Coho working with in the market today around these solutions?
Yeah, very good question. So our strategy was not just to target direct customers ourselves. We definitely want to partner with any key vendors today who have also seen the value add of something that is of massive scale. For us, our biggest vendor as of today has been HPE. HPE is one of our investors. They are a strategic investor for us, and they've also paved the way for us to bring in our technology and see where it can reside in their portfolio. In fact, I think our Rackscale story very much complements their current portfolio. HPE has a wide breadth of solutions, and there are certain solutions that do overlap with each other, but that is a on purpose, right? Because they can now cover almost a 360 degrees of customer segments with all these different vendors. And we fit into their story. If you look at it, they have their HP 3-Par, which is basically a block-based. They have their own set of store virtual, which is for SMB and robo markets. What they were missing is a story that augments that entire Rackscale story. They have their own HP synergy,
Right.
but that is more of a buy different piece parts and different solutions and put it up together.
Right.
And this fits right in the middle there, where we give the entire Rackscale story solution. Basically, you don't really need to go buy different commodity hardware. You just get it from HP, or software runs on it, and boom, there you have it. Anything massive scale, you can use our Rackscale infrastructure.
Very good. Suzy, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Scott, for having me. Thank you.